All right, I hope you're ready to nerd out with me because we're going to go full on energy nerd today. Happy Tuesday. I have your energy update for the next 2 months. Today is October 28th. Never given one that was this long, but this is what's coming in. Hi, my name is Paula Taylor. I'm a sound and energy activator, intuitive reader and channeler, body worker and fearless alchemist, seraphim, and I coach people on the path to spiritual awakening. So like many of you, I imagine, I did not sleep much last night. If you looked at what was coming in on the Schumann, it was one of those times where the Schumann's actually showing what the energy is really doing. And so I was wide awake at I don't know, on and off, but for an extended period. And that's always my cue when that happens. I just tap into the energy and see what's happening and see what I can move and start meditating. So I was hanging out with Archangel Michael, as one does in the middle of the night when you're awake. And he was telling me, I know there's another big expansion coming for me personally and for the collective. Lots of people are talking about that. And he had left. And if you're familiar with me, my angels do that once in a while. My archangels, they will leave and go work on something and come back. And what I've noticed a pattern is sometimes they leave because they're waiting for me to expand out to the place where they are. It's like they're giving me something to expand into. They're giving me kind of a goalpost to kind of run for. And so I woke up and I was kind of feeling really confused, and he had come back because I'm doing some inner child work that's hard, and he's my go-to. So he's been around more. And I was like, where were you? What were you doing out there? I know I'm supposed to be expanding out into this space. And he said, well, feel out into that area and feel what you can feel. And I realized that it was 3-Eye Atlas. And I was kind of laughing because I have not said anything about this. I've heard a lot of the things other people are saying, and I really wasn't getting any information about this. And I've been kind of waiting. I am an energy specialist. That's my thing. I like to nerd out about energy. We're about to get real nerdy, but I'm going to do my analogy thing and explain it in a way that hopefully makes sense. And I could feel this at the edge of my field, and my field is very large now, so it kind of goes out into the cosmos. So I was like, oh, what is this that's at the edge of my human field? Our quantum field is infinite. I'm talking about kind of the field we're aware of as humans, and you can increase your awareness. You can increase the size of that. That's one of the things I help people do. So I'm always doing that for myself because I have to be able to hold a space for people to expand into. Just like my angels hold a space for me to expand into, I just realized. So I was feeling out into that, and I realized it was 3-Eye Atlas. And I said to Michael, all right, what is this thing? Everybody has all these theories, tell me what this is. And of course he knows me, so he had explained it in a way that made total sense to me. I'm going to see if I can make it make sense to you. It is a resonance tuner and amplifier. That's the word, resonance tuner, and then later he said it was an amplifier. So what does this mean? So let's talk about what a resonance tuner is. And the best example of this that I can think of, and I think I've realized by this time most of the people who listen to me are old enough to get my old person references. So think about an old school radio, the kind with the dial where you had to tune into a radio, and in between the bands where the stations were, there was just this white noise. And so tuning is basically tuning into a specific frequency. And in the case of the radio, you don't want to hear the white noise. It's kind of chaotic. You want to tune in to the frequency on which that particular radio station was sitting. So this is a resonance tuner. It's meant to help you tune to a specific frequency. We'll get back to that. It's also an amplifier. So it is going to amplify whatever frequency you are sitting in. And part of that is to wake you up, because if you're sitting in the white noise frequency and there's a lot of chaos and it's really unpleasant, that is a little more impetus to be like, oh, I think I'm going to turn my dial a little bit and see if I can find a radio station that I like. See if I can find a resonance that feels more clear, expanded, and harmonious. So that's kind of the simplest thing of what's happening, of what it is. Let's talk about what's happening, because this is where I'm going to get real frequency nerdy on you. And sometimes people ask me what's your certification to be a sound healer? I studied the physics of ultrasound for 2 years as an ultrasound tech, and I also have a bachelor's degree in music. So I have studied sound from multiple angles for many, many years. And so I know a lot about this stuff, and it makes sense in my brain. My brain is resonance tuned to sound and frequency. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Doppler effect, and I'm going to be quick about this. And the easiest thing to understand is essentially the further away from you something is, the slower the waves seem to be, which means the lower the frequency sounds like. So when a siren is coming, it's far away, it sounds lower. As it comes toward you, there is this effect of the waves appearing to be compressed. This is based on where you are in space and where it is in space. It's not actually changing. The sound of it, the way you receive it changes. So as the siren gets closer to you, it gets higher because the waves are closer together in your perception, and you start to hear it the way it would be heard anywhere if you were close to it. So what is happening with 3i Atlas is that right now the amplification, it is far away from us, and the waves are low and slow, meaning some people aren't aware of them, some people aren't receiving them, some people are super already attuned to that and like feeling the energy of that, and that's why there's a lot of buzz around it. I just looked it up. It's going to be closest to us on December 19th, which explains to me now why everybody's been obsessed with the solstice on the 21st. So as it gets closer to us, the intensity is going to appear to increase, and essentially the frequency of the waves is going to get closer together because it's operating at a super high frequency, a super expanded frequency. The waves are going to get closer together. So what we are experiencing now, like what came in last night that felt like an intense like influx of light, you ain't seen nothing yet. But baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, sorry. It's going to get more intense. And it's going to get more intense because we are being asked to tune ourselves to a higher frequency. And when I asked about, is this alien? Is this is this that? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to stop there. I keep trying to like qualify that. It doesn't matter. Is it serving the highest good? Yes. That is a straight answer I got. It is asking us to expand the frequencies we are tuned to. And it is going to amplify the frequencies that we are currently attuned to so that we can release the ones that aren't serving us. This is why there's so much chaos. There's so much just everything. This is why time is appearing to move differently, because these are huge waves of energy that are already reaching us. And the closer it gets, the bigger the waves are going to get, the faster they are going to go to our perception. The waves are moving the way they're moving, but it's far enough away from us that it feels slower. And as it approaches us, the waves are going to get faster and more intense. That's the Doppler effect. So what do we do about this? Receive. This is why we've been getting all these messages about you need to rest, you need to receive. We need to be open to this, and you're not going to miss out on anything. What's going to happen is the more like of the chaos of the white noise you have in your field, the louder that's going to get until you can kind of tune yourself to the frequency of what's coming in a way that serves you. There's no fear in this other than it's going to be really intense. And like, if you're afraid of that intensity, then there is going to be some fear in this. And you do have control of that. We do have control of how much fear we're holding in our system. A lot of us don't want to think that, but we can move that through. And it's natural to have fear. It's like any other emotion, it's sort of meant to move through. So get ready for a lot. Everyone's talking about it. I'm going to be here to help you through. I'm going to give you some energy today because your mind might just be like, what did she just say? And hopefully that made sense. And if not, I'll be talking about it more, I'm sure, because it's going to get closer and more intense as it gets closer to us. So put something in the comments to consent, whatever calls to you. Don't do this while you're driving. Close your eyes, put a hand on your heart. Maybe put a hand on your belly today if that feels good. Kwe te kai na ke te ku te ka te ki te kai te ki na ke te ki te ke na ka ko na kai te ki te ke na ki te ku te kai na ki te ke na kai te ka piu amoy 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 te te kai te ki te ke na ka u te ki na kai te ki na ke te ki na kai te ki na ke kwe na kai te ki na ke te ka na ku te kai na ki te ke na ka say aye. Remember that you are always loved. You are always supported, no matter how intense it gets. Have a beautiful rest of your day.